Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you tuned into yesterday's show. That was episode 2213, 2213th episode of the Cabral Concept. You know, our weekend shows are our Cabral House Calls, where we answer every single weekend our community's questions in the order that they come in. 6 questions on Saturday, 6 questions on Sunday. Today, if you want to follow along with the community's questions, feel free to head on over to stephencabral.com/2214. And if you haven't already, pick up your free copy of my book, The Rain Barrel Effect. I pay for the printing. I just ask that you pay for the shipping and handling. That is on over at stephencabral.com. Again, completely free. And we just split it. That's it. I pay about $7 or so to print it. And it's about $7 or so to ship. But I just wanted to also thank everyone who's reviewed the book over at Amazon. If you haven't yet, I would love for you to review the book, The Rain Barrel Effect, over on Amazon. It helps spread the word. It helps spread the mission. I make a whole $1 when someone purchases that book on Amazon. I don't write that book. I don't write books in general to make money. That is not what it is. It's about spreading the mission and work of helping people get well through finding out their underlying root cause imbalances. So let's help some people here. Let's get into today's questions. The first question today is from Simon. Simon is asking, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm looking to improve my immune defenses against a certain virus, and I'm concerned that my white blood cell count is suboptimal despite my otherwise good health. I suspect this may be a hangover from having very low white blood cells after contracting dengue fever 5 years ago. Is increasing my white blood cells something I should be exploring, and what I can do to get my count up?" All right. You know, those are good questions. They really are. I've been trying to do a lot of actual giving you the research and the science on how to support the immune system against the virus. And the very best things that you can do right now are your vitamin C, not mega doses, your vitamin D, not mega doses, your zinc, not mega doses. Okay, so that's called the immunity protocol. That's what we recommend. It's based on science. Again, we're not providing any medical advice. We're not providing any medical treatment plans. We're not providing any medical cures. We wouldn't do that. You can't do that. That's not legal. We wouldn't do that. And what we also do, though, is we recommend taking a good daily activated multivitamin or daily nutritional support, and at least a daily omega-3 that's giving you 2 grams of omega-3s a day. So I use the daily foundational protocol, and then I use the immunity protocol every day. That's what I recommend to people. So that is your go-to. Now, a lot of other people are also using the daily mushroom immune support. And that, again, clinically proven, helps with energy, great. Helps with the brain, that's nice too, but it helps with the immune system. And that's why a lot of people are using those. So that's all I would do. I have my protocol that I use personally, not recommending it for anyone else, but you can go to stephencabral.com/the-protocol, which is just for our community. It's not advertised anywhere. It's just what I do when I happen to personally get a virus. All right. So that's that. And again, now overall white blood cells, I would never try to purposely push my white blood cells higher. I would never do that, because you want to, your immune system is going to decide when it needs to increase blood cells, right? White blood cells, right? So you let it increase when it sees a virus or something inside your body. So that's what I would do, but I would look at the overall strength of the body, and I would run the Big Five if you can, but if not, run the stress hormones, mood, and metabolism, just to make sure that your cortisol levels are where they should be as well. All right. Lorena is up next. Thank you so much for all you do for the community. Not sure if you remember, but I asked a few weeks ago regarding my elevated heart rate at night according to my Oura ring, and I started experiencing a lot of neurological symptoms certain to MCAS, such as anxiety, heart palpitations, and pseudo-seizures at the same time. You mentioned that I should check my cortisol levels at night, which I did, and was slightly elevated in the PM and low in the AM. I'm a VADA, I'm level 1 and 2 IHP, literally ran all the labs that you could imagine, and I'm very confused as to what's going on. Hormones, heavy metals, stool, oat, neurotransmitters. I was fine except for some candida and mold, as well as elevated toxic metals. I started the CBO, heavy metal, 21-day detox. LOL. Anyways, I haven't felt any neurological symptoms after just a couple days of starting these protocols. I can't figure out how this would have happened. Surely 2 days worth of protocols is not enough to stop these symptoms. Very happy though. Any idea why? Okay, well, hey, I'm glad you're getting the results that you want, right? So what did you do? You did the CBO. Well, that works right away. So like that's the thing. It works right away. Now, you can't stop it after 2 days. It's 12 weeks. It's very systematic, but you certainly could have had overgrowth in your gut. That's one, and it works right away. The second, heavy metals, that's going to take some time. So I'm not going to say that works right away. 21-day detox, and that works right away too. You could have just had massive levels of inflammation in your body. We don't always know why, but you certainly could have a lot of inflammation. Again, I'm not providing you any medical advice. It's certainly not a medical diagnosis. But I'm glad you're getting the results that you're doing, and you just keep working the programs. Honestly, there was an imbalance. You said you said, oh, nothing major, but you said there was candida and mold overgrowth. You said that there were heavy metals. That's something for sure. So you found 2 things to work on. That's the thing. Like, you run the labs, you never know what you're going to find. You oftentimes have an idea, of course. If it's gut issues, you find gut issues, right? And then you continue to work the process. So continue to look at the variables. If you end up getting one of those heart palpitations again, you say, what did I do differently today? New food? Maybe not, right? But put it on the list. New exercise? Was it too much for the body? Write it on the list, right? So just start to keep a journal of the different variables for when it comes back, if it does, all right? All right, Lorena, keep up the good work. Make us IHPs proud. All right. It's Lorena again. Lorena says, hi, doc, me again. I forgot to mention that I also ran an allergy test by Precision Point. That's IgE, GG, G4, and complement from blood serum. It's much more expensive, so not very affordable for a lot of people. Anyways, a lot came up, so I eliminated the ones in the red section for IgE and IgG. And at the same time, I was doing the protocols. Do you think it might have been the removal of these foods as well? Well, so Lorena, my question, my answer before was it was most likely inflammatory, right? Most likely inflammatory. These are just adding to the rain barrel, right? So your rain barrel was full. Your rain barrel symptoms were heart palpitations, anxiety, etc. So that's that. The reason we don't do the IgE and we used to do IgM before, one is you need to really do a blood draw. Okay, so we don't do a blood draw because nobody would run their blood. Like nobody run with their food sensitivities. So we do the IgG for 2 reasons. One, it's the latent response, right? Everybody knows, hopefully you've heard my podcast on IgG response or seen my case studies on it. So if you haven't, definitely check those out at stephencabral.com/podcast. Just type in IgG food sensitivity and you'll be able to find it. So, and if you can't, just ask inside of cabralsupportgroup.com and we'll find the podcast for you. So most people know their IgE sensitivities. And that's because those are pretty quick. Within an hour, half hour to a couple hours of eating, you get hives, you get dizzy, you get lightheaded, you get skin itchiness, you get low mood. That's more of an IgE reaction. Now, an IgG is going to be 24 hours to maybe even 3 days later. So they're both important. It's easy to figure out your IgE if you're more cognizant, not easy to figure out your IgG, which is why we run the IgG food sensitivity for children and adults. And you can find that, of course, at stephencabral.com/labs. All right, Nina's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I get very lightheaded every time I bend down to pick something up. Do you know why this is happening? I do have a low blood pressure, so maybe that could have something to do with it. But I really want to know if there's anything else that could be causing it. I always feel cold, especially in the extremities. Just to give you some background, I'm a 44-year-old female, no kids, vegan, and pretty active. Thank you so much for your answer. I really appreciate your help, Nina. Nina, I am happy to help. So you always want to use Occam's razor. And that's the Boston accent coming out. I don't know if anybody caught that. Rewind 10 seconds, you'll hear it. So here's the thing. 44-year-old female, low blood pressure, lightheaded when bending over to pick something up. Yes, it's most likely low blood pressure. Now, you have to ask yourself, again, but I'm not providing any medical diagnosis, okay? And you already know you have low blood pressure. So then you have to ask, why do I have low blood pressure? Okay, it could be low thyroid. Okay, that's one reason. Could be low cortisol or low, I would say just lower HPA axis response, meaning like not enough aldosterone. We talked about this actually yesterday and it causing POTS in some people. Could be an imbalance between magnesium and sodium or sodium and potassium. So there's an easy way to figure this out. And you would run the minerals and metals test and the stress hormones, mood and metabolism. Now, ideally, you run the big 5 because then you'll also get you look at your gut function, your omega-3s. But if you can only do 2, I'm recommending the minerals and metals test and the stress hormones, mood and metabolism, because you also said you were cold, and that's most likely, not always, most likely it's a stress and or thyroid issue for circulation. All right? Good question. Farrell is up next, or Farrell, probably Farrell. Farrell's up next. Hello, Dr. Brawl. I trust you and your family are in great health. Thank you, Farrell. We fortunately are. Listening to your older episodes, and about 2 years ago, on a house call segment, you were asked about Tongat Ali and its use for athletes and men in their 30s. You went on to say there's a product your team will be launching in September 2020 called the Libido Booster. I purchased from the site, and I've never seen it. Has the launch been put on hold, or it won't be released? Keep up the great work. Oh, Farrell, you wrote in, or Farrell, literally the week it was being launched. It was launched 7 days after you wrote in your question. And it is called Daily Testosterone Support. Let me see. I don't think that I have it on my desk. I do. Daily Testosterone Support. And it's funny that I mentioned that 2 years ago. So people don't always believe me that it takes so long to formulate, these, again, what I call best-in-class products. It was probably 18 months ago. And yes, it was delayed another 4 months because just all of the, we back everything by science. So the Daily Testosterone Support contains all the things to boost testosterone naturally. Vitamin C, zinc, boron, epimedium, Tongat Ali, Asian ginseng, DIM to block it from converting to estrogen, maca, tribulus, and ashwagandha. And so if you really want to boost testosterone, my highest recommendation is you take your vitamin D every day, you take your daily testosterone support every day, and which is 2 at breakfast, 2 at dinner, and then you take DHEA 5 milligrams at breakfast and 5 milligrams if you want at lunch or at dinner. Now, you don't have to do the DHEA if you don't want, but that's the maximum testosterone, natural testosterone producer. So still do your daily nutritional support, still do your omega-3s, but add vitamin D, which everybody should pretty much be taking anyways, your daily testosterone support, and then if you really wanted to take it to the next level, you'll use DHEA. I've been doing this in clinical work for now 3 years. I know that it works. I know it works for sure. So you can run the stress hormones, mood and metabolism, and even see your before and after testosterone levels. Trust me, this works, and it works naturally. All right, thank you for your patience, Pharrell. Ndala is up next. Hello, doctor. Thanks for the information. Following you on Instagram, I had we'll just call it the virus in October 2021, and now 3 months later, experiencing hair loss. So are many of my relatives who all at the same time have it. Any suggestions on remedies? Ndala, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I really don't. I dislike mispronouncing names because people do it to me as well. But I understand it, right? So let's go. Let's check this out because I have the show for you. And this was by popular request and demand because so many people were asking. I'm on airplanes. People are asking me when they find out what I do for work. And I dedicated a show to it. It's called COVID Hair Loss and How to Regrow It, episode 2181. So, Ndela, I want you to go to stephencabral.com/2181, and that will tell you exactly why it happens and then what you can do about it. And there is good news. All right. Danielle will be our last question of the day. Danielle says, hello, Dr. Brawl. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge in functional medicine. I've read your book twice, and I have no doubt I'll read it again. I listen to this podcast daily, and I'm awaiting the arrival of my minerals and metals test. Thank you, Danielle. That's amazing. Appreciate that. My question is related to IIH. I understand the medical advice disclaimer. Are there any natural ways to reduce pressure in the head? I do not want ALP. How else can I reduce excess fluid? I do take L-lysine and well as long list of supplements daily. I'm also taking Guduchi and Triphala as herbal support, and I'm on 2 pharmaceuticals as well, which I'd love to come off of safely, of course. Thank you so much for your time. All right. Thank you, Danielle, for writing in. So let's help you with this. And just for everybody who does not know, IIH, excuse me, it just stands for idiopathic intracranial hypertension. And I want to break that down for exactly what that means. So it's often confused typically with someone that has a tumor growing in the brain and then it's creating tension on the head, right? But what does it really mean, right? It's a lot like IBS, to be honest with you, right? Because it doesn't tell you anything. Idiopathic means we don't know, right? That's what idiopathic means. Intracranial means inside of the head, right? Inside of the skull. Hypertension means, well, there's a lot of tension. So what are they really telling you? They're saying, we don't know why you have tension inside of your skull. But I'll tell you this, one of the main reasons is inflammation. And a lot of those inflammatory issues can come from all of the other causes that would cause other health issues. You get maybe the intracranial pressure, but for others, it might be rheumatoid arthritis, or it might be allergies. So what we want to do is and again, for things that are serious, and I mean this, I know not everybody can do this, but the only way I got well, I'm telling you right now, the only way I got well is I ran these functional medicine lab tests. I would have never known. I mean, I ran a minerals and metals test, just like you're doing. That was the very first test I ran. And I ran the stress hormones, mood, and metabolism. That's what I ran. And all of a sudden, I found out I had high mercury. Lo and behold, that caused a lot of inflammation. And I found out that I had just wiped out electrolyte levels. Found out that I had a low zinc. And then on my stress hormones, mood, and metabolism, I found out I wasn't producing cortisol and very little DHEA. So I would have never known, but now I knew. And I could start to do something about it. And that was a whole new eye-opening experience. So I would say for you, if possible, you'll run the Big 5. If you can't, you'll at least run the starter kit. And you've already run half of it. You ran the minerals and metals test. So what's the next one that you might run? And if you can't, then I understand. Don't run any other labs then. But you might want to then begin doing maybe even something like the CBO protocol, because we don't know if you have gut issues. We don't know if that's part of it as well. Well, we have to start working on it. So you either lab test or you begin a protocol, right? Or you might just begin with a 21-day functional medicine detox. So we have to do something. I can't tell you what to do because you're asking about a medical condition, right? So I can't provide you medical advice. But what I do want to do is help you to the best of my ability. So that might be working with an integrative health practitioner level 2. It might be working with a local naturopathic doctor, but you're going to want some guidance on this, and it should come from lab testing for sure. So you should be working with your medical doctors, and you also want to be working with a natural health-based practitioner as well. And I wish you all the best. I'll be here. You have additional questions, you write in, you let me know, all right? Thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate your support as always. I hope it's been an amazing weekend, and I'll be back tomorrow with our first show of the week, our Mindset and Motivation Monday. Take care.